Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. This holy book Bhagavad Gita teaches us how to live happily in the world. It is an ancient holy book of Hindu Dharma, also known as Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism. But it can be understood and followed by people of any faith. The Gita has 18 chapters and a total of only 700 verses. Anyone can be helped by daily practice of only a few of its teachings. The word Bhagavad means God or the Supreme Lord, Bhagavan in Sanskrit. Gita means song, thus the Bhagavad Gita means the song of God or the sacred song because it was sung by Bhagavan Sri Krishna himself. Here is the introduction to Gita. In ancient times there was a king who had two sons, Dhritarashtra and Pandu. The former was born blind. Therefore, Pandu inherited the kingdom. Pandu had 5 sons. They were called the Pandavas. Dhritarashtra had 100 sons. They were called the Kauravas. Duryodhana was the eldest of the Kauravas. After the death of King Pandu, his eldest son, Yudhishthira, became the lawful king. Duryodhana was very jealous. He also wanted the kingdom. The kingdom was divided into two halves between the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Duryodhana was not satisfied with the share. He wanted the entire kingdom for himself. He tried several evil plots to kill the Pandavas and take away their kingdom. Somehow, he took over the entire kingdom of the Pandavas and refused to give it back without a war. All peace talks by Lord Krishna and others failed. So, the big war of Mahabharata could not be avoided. The Pandavas didn't want to fight, but they had only two choices: fight for their right because it was their duty, or run away from war and accept defeat for the sake of peace and non-violence. Arjuna, one of the 5 Pandava brothers, faced this choice in the battlefield. He had to choose between fighting the war and killing his most revered Guru, who was on the other side, his very dear friends, close relatives, and many innocent warriors, or running away from the battlefield to peaceful and non-violent. The entire 18 chapters of the Gita are the talk between confused Arjuna and his best friend, mentor, and cousin, Lord Krishna, an incarnation of God, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra near New Delhi, India, about 5100 years ago. This conversation was reported to the blind king Dhritarashtra by his charioteer Sanjay. It is recorded in the great epic Mahabharata. All lives, human or non-human, are sacred, and non-violence or ahimsa is one of the most basic principles of Hinduism. So, when Lord Krishna advises Arjuna to get up and fight, this may confuse you about the principle of ahimsa if you don't keep in mind the background of the war of Mahabharata. This spiritual talk between the Supreme Lord Krishna and his devotee friend Arjuna occurs not in a temple, a lonely forest, or on a mountain top, but on a battlefield, on the eve of a war. Dear friends, by the grace of Lord Krishna, today I am going to start Bhagavad Gita as it is. There is no inclusions or there are no exclusions. I am going to read original Bhagavad Gita for you all. Let us start. Introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvamanusandadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. Om O Blessed Mother, Bhagavad Gita, thou goddess, who was imparted to Arjuna by Narayana himself, who was recorded amidst the Mahabharata by Vyasa, the ancient sage, who showers the nectar of Advaita, who is composed of 18 chapters. I meditate on thee, the destroyer of samsara. Om नमोस्तुते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्रा येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः. Salutations to thee, O Vyasa of mighty intellect, thou whose eyes are large like the petals of a full-blown lotus. It was thou who lit the wisdom lamp which brims with the oil, that is the Mahabharata. Prasanna parijataya totra vetraikapanaya Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Geetamrita Duhe Namaha. Salutations to thee, Krishna, who art a veritable wish-yielding tree to all surrendered ones, whose one hand holds a cane to drive cattle, while the other is held in the Jnana pose, and who is famous as the milker of the nectarine milk, that is the Bhagavad Gita. Sarvopanishado gavo dogda gopalanandanaha Partho vatsaha sudidbhokta dugdam Geetamrutam mahat. All the Upanishads are the cows. The cowherd's son Krishna is the milker. Partha, that is Arjuna, is the calf. The nectarine Gita is the milk, and the pure-minded are the drinkers of it. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. I salute Lord Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the bestower of supreme delight to Devaki, the destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura, and the teacher of the world. Bhishma Drona Tata Jaya Drata Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalya Grahavati Krupena Vahani Karnena Vela Kula Ashwattama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotina Khala Pandavaihi Rananadi Kaivartakaha Keshavaha. Lo, the battle river of Kurukshetra with Bhishma and Drona as the banks, with Jayadratha as the water, with the prince of Gandhara as the blue water lily, with Shalya as the crocodile, with Krupa as the current, with Karna as the high wave, with Ashwattama and Vikarna as terrible sharks, and with Duryodhana as the whirlpool, was crossed by the Pandavas because they had Krishna as the ferryman. Parasharyavachah sarojamamalam Geetartha gandhotkatam nanakyanaka kesaram Harikatha sambodhana bodhitam Loke sajjana shakpadhaira harahara He piyamanam muda bhuyad bharata pankajam Kalimala pradvam sinaha shreyase. May the stainless lotus of Mahabharata, which was born on the waters of the words of Vyasa, the son of Parashara, which has the message of the Gita for its overpowering fragrance, which contains numerous narratives proclaiming the glory of Hari as its stamens, and which is sucked again and again in great joy every day by the honeysuckers of virtuous men, may it prevail for the good of all who want to be cleansed of the taint of the age of Kali. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. I salute Madhava, that is Lord Krishna, the supremely blissful one, by whose grace a dumb man can become eloquent and a lame person cross over mountains. यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्र रुद्रमरुतः स्तुवन्ति दिव्यैः स्तवैः वेदैः साङ्ग पदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगा ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यशान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः. My salutations to that supreme being whom Brahma, Varuna, Indra and Rudra glorify by divine hymns, whom singers of Saman praise by chanting the Veda with all the complementary parts, sections and Upanishads, whom yogins intuit with minds concentrated in meditation, and whose limit neither the hosts of devas nor of asuras know. Gurubhyo Namaha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Atha Pratamodhyayaha. Arjuna's conversion. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. Mamakaha Pandavashaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, what indeed did my people and the followers of the Pandavas do after having assembled in the holy land of Kurukshetra, eager to join battle? Sanjaya Uvacha. Drushtva tu Pandavanekam vyudam Duryodhanastada Acharya Mupasanjamya Raja Vachanam Braveet. Sanjaya said, then seeing the army of the Pandavas arrayed in battle order, King Duryodhana for his part approached the teacher Drona and spoke to him the following words. Pashaitam Panduputranamacharya Mahatim Chamu Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. O teacher, behold this great army of the sons of Pandu, arrayed in battle order by your talented disciple, the son of Drupada. Atra Shura Maheshwasa Bhimarjuna Samayudhi Yuyudhano Viratacha Drupadasya Maharadaha. Here in that army are many brave bowmen of note who are equal to Bhima and Arjuna in battle. Great car warriors like Yudharma, Virata and Drupada. Drushtaketuchekitanaha Kashirajachya Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojachya Shaibyachya Narapungavaha. Drushtaketu, Chekitana and the brave king of Kashi, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja and Shaibya, the best of men. Yudamanusya Vikranta Uttamauja cha Viryavan सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथा. The powerful Yudamanyu, the brave Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra and the sons of Draupadi, all these are indeed noted car warriors. अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाये तान्निबोध द्विजोत्तमा. नायका मम सैन्यस्य संज्ञार्थं तान् ब्रवीमि ते. O best of Brahmanas, I shall mention for your information the names of the distinguished leaders of our army. Bhavan Bhishmaccha Karnasya Krupasya Samitegnyayah Ashwattama Vikarnasya Saumadatityayadratah. Yourself, Bhishma and Karna, the victorious Krupa, Ashwattama, Vikarna and Jayadratha, the son of Somadatta, अन्ये च बहवः शूराः मदर्ते त्यक्तजीविताः, नानाशस्त्रप्रहारणाः सर्वे युद्धविशारदाः. These and many more brave men who are ready to lay down their lives for my sake and who fight with various types of weapons are present here. All of them are seasoned warriors. अपर्याप्तं तदास्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितं, पर्याप्तं त्विदमेतेषां बलं भीमारक्षितम्. Though numerically superior, inadequate is the army of ours defended by Bhishma, while theirs guarded by Bhima is adequate. आयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागमवस्थिता, भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि. Therefore do ye all protect Bhishma, remaining in appropriate positions in your respective divisions. Tasya sanjanayam harsham kururuddha pitamaha, सिंहनादं विनोद्यैश्चैः शङ्खं ददौम प्रतापवान्. Cheering him up, the valiant grandfather Bhishma, the oldest of the Kurus, sounded a lion roar loudly and blew his conch shell horn. ततः शङ्काश्च भीर्यश्च पनवानक गोमुखाः सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्तः शब्दस्तु मूलोऽभवत्. Thereupon conch, kettle drums, tabors, trumpets and cow horns all blared out suddenly, causing a tremendous sound. ततः श्वेतैरह्यहिरुक्ते महति सन्दने स्थितौ, माधवः पाण्डवैश्चैव दिव्यौ शग्नौ प्रदम्नतुः. Then Sri Krishna and Arjuna, seated in a great chariot with white horses yoked to it, blew their celestial conch shell horns. Panchajanyam Hrushikesho Devadattam Dhanunjayah Poundram Dadadmau Mahashankam Bhimakarma Vrukodaraha. Sri Krishna blew his conch Panchajanya, Arjuna blew Devadatta, and Bhima of terrible deeds sounded his great conch Poundra. Ananta Vijayam Raja Kunti Putro Yudhishtharaha Nakulaha Sahadevashya Sughosha Manipushpakau. Raja Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, blew his conch Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva, Sughosa and Manipushpaka respectively. काश्यच्च परमेश्वासः शिखण्डी च महारथः दृष्टद्युम्नो विराटश्च सात्यकिशा पराजितः. The great archer, king of Kashi, the mighty car warrior Shikhandi and Drishtadyumna and invincible Satyaki, Drupado Draupadeyascha Sarvashah Prithivipate Saubhadrasya Mahabahu Shankandadmuhu Prutak Prutak. The king of Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, the mighty armed son of Subhadra, all these, O king, sounded their conch shell horns again and again everywhere. सघोषोधातराष्ट्राणां हृदयानि व्यदारयत् नभश्य पृथिवीग्नैव तुमुलो व्यनुनादयान्. That tumultuous uproar resounding in the sky and over the land pierced the hearts of followers of Dhritarashtra. अत व्यवस्थितान् दृष्ट्वा धातराष्ट्रान् कपिध्वजः प्रवृत्ते शस्त्रसम्पाते धनुरुज्जम्य पाण्डवः. ऋषिकेशं तदा वाक्यमिदमाह महीपते. O king Arjuna, the Pandava leader with the banner crest of a monkey, on seeing the followers of Dhritarashtra arrayed for battle and the clash of weapons about to start, held up his bow and said the following words to Sri Krishna. Arjuna uvacha सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये रथं स्थापय मे अच्युता यावदेवतार्निरीक्षेऽहं योद्धुकामनावस्थितान् कैर्मया सह योद्धव्यमस्मिन् रणसंयुज्य मे. Arjuna said, O Achyuta, please station my chariot between the two armies so that I may have a view on the eve of this battle of all those standing ready to fight, and learn who all are the persons with whom I have to contend. योध्यमाना नवेक्षेऽहं यः एतेऽत्र समागतः धार्तराष्ट्रस्य दुर्बुद्धेर्युद्धे प्रियचिकीर्षवः. Let me see all those who have arrived to favor the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra in war and are standing ready to join battle. Sanjaya uvacha evamukto ऋषिकेशो गुडाकेशेन भारता सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये स्थापयित्वा रथोत्तमम् भीष्मद्रोणप्रमुखतः सर्वेषां च महीक्षिताम् उवाच पार्थ पश्यैतान् समवेतान् कुरुनिति. Sanjaya said, O King Dhritarashtra, Sri Krishna, to whom Arjuna addressed these words, stationed that most splendid of chariots at a place between the two armies, confronting Bhishma, Drona and all those chiefs, and said, O Arjuna, see these men of the Kuru horde assembled for battle. Tatra pashyat sthitan parthaha पितॄनत पितामहान् आचार्यान् मातुलान् भ्रातॄन् पुत्रान् पौत्रान् सखीं सदा श्वशुरान् सुहृदश्चैव सेनयोरुभयोरपि तान्यमीक्ष्य स कौन्तेयः सर्वान् बन्धूनवस्थितान् कृपया परयाविष्टो विषीदन्नितमब्रवीत्. There he saw standing in both the armies fathers, grandfathers, uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, comrades, fathers-in-law and bosom friends. Seeing all these kinsmen arrayed, Arjuna was overcome with great pity and said, sorrowing, Arjuna uvacha drushtemam svajanam krishna yutsum samupaptitam सीदन्ति मम गात्राणि मुखं च परिशुष्यति वेपतुच्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षच्च जायते. Arjuna said, seeing these relatives standing eager to join battle, my limbs are giving away, my mouth is parching, I get trembling of the body and horripilations. गाण्डीवं स्रशंसते हस्तात्वकै च परिदह्यते न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुं भ्रमतीव च मे मनः. My bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, my skin too is burning, I find it impossible to stand firm, and my mind is as it were reeling. निमित्तानि च पश्यामि विपरीतानि केशवा न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनः माहवे. O Keshava, I see adverse omens. I do not feel that any good will come by killing all one's kinsmen in battle. Na काम्ये विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च किं नो राज्येन गोविन्द किं भोगैर्जीवितेन वा. O Krishna, I do not long for victory or kingdom or enjoyments. O Govinda, of what use is kingdom, enjoyments, or even life itself? येषामर्थे काङ्क्षितं नो राज्यं भोगा सुखानि च ता इमेव स्थिता युद्धे प्राणां त्यक्त्वा धनानि च आचार्याः पितरः पुत्रास्तप्तैव च पितामहा मातुलाः श्वशुराः पौत्राः शालाः सम्बन्धिनस्तथा. Those for whose sake kingdoms, enjoyments, and pleasures are desired, those very teachers, fathers, and sons, as also grandfathers, uncles, fathers in law, and other relatives are here stationed in battle ready to give up their lives and possessions. एतान् हन्तुमिच्छामि ज्ञतोऽपि मधुसूदना अपि त्रैलोक्यराज्यस्य हेतो किं नु मही कृते. Even for the sovereignty of the three worlds, I do not desire to kill them, though myself killed, how much less than for this earthly kingdom. निहत्य धार्तराष्ट्रान्नः का प्रीतिस्य जनार्दन पापमेवाश्रये तस्मान् हत्वैता नाततायिनः. What joy can there be for us by killing these sons of Dhritarashtra? Though they are murderous villains, only sin will accrue to us by killing them. तस्मान्नार्ह वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधवा. Therefore, O Madhava, it is not befitting that we kill our relations, the sons of Dhritarashtra. How could one be happy by slaughter of one's own kinsmen? यद्यप्येतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहतचेतसः कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयमस्माभिः पापादस्मान्निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षयकृतं दोषं प्रपश्यति जनार्दना. O Janardana, even if these people with their intelligence overpowered by greed do not see any evil in the decay of families and any sin in the persecution of friends, why should not we, who are aware of the evil of such decay of families, learn to desist from that sin? कुलक्षये प्रणश्यन्ति कुलधर्मा सनातना धर्मे नष्टे कुलं कृत्स्नमधर्मोऽपि भवत्युता. When a clan becomes decadent, its ancient traditions, laws perish. When traditions perish, the entire clan is indeed overcome by lawlessness. अधर्माभिभवात् कृष्ण प्रदुष्यन्ति कुलस्त्रियः स्त्रीषु दुष्टासु वार्ष्णेय जायते वर्णसंकरा. O Krishna, when lawlessness prevails, the women of the clans become corrupt. Ocean of the Vrishnis, when women are corrupted, mixture of classes, promiscuity prevails. Sankaro narakayaiva kulagnaanam kulasya cha patanti pitaro hesham lupta pindodaka kriyaha. Promiscuity results only in hell to those destroyers of the clans, as also to the members of the clan, for being without legitimate progeny to perform obsequies. The spirits of their ancestors fall, deprived of the offerings of rice ball and water. दोषैरेतैः कुलज्ञानां वर्णसङ्करकारकैः उत्साद्यन्ते जातिधर्माः कुलधर्माश्च शाश्वता. By the misdeeds of these ruiners of clans and promoters of promiscuity, the immemorial traditions of the communities and clans are uprooted. उत्सन्न कुलधर्माणां मनुष्याणां जनार्दना नरके नियतं वासो भवतीत्यानुशुश्रुमा. O Janardana, we have heard that residence in hell awaits men, the religious traditions of whose clans have been destroyed. अहो बत महात्पापं कर्तुं व्यवसिता वयं यद्राज्यासुखलोभेन हन्तु स्वजनमद्यता. Alas, what great sin have we resolved to commit when we prepared ourselves to destroy our kinsmen out of greed for the pleasure of a kingdom. यदिमाम प्रतीकारम् अशस्त्रं शस्त्रपानयः धार्तराष्ट्रारणे हन्युः तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्. Far better would it be for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, with weapons in hand, kill me in battle, unarmed and unresisting. Sanjaya uvacha एवमुक्त्वार्जुन संख्ये रथोपस्थ उपाविशत् विसृज्य नशरं चापं शोकसंविघ्नमानसा. Sanjaya said. So saying, Arjuna, with his mind overwhelmed with sorrow, abandoned his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot seat. Chapter 1. Arjuna's Conversion. Summary. Arjuna asked his charioteer friend Lord Krishna to drive his chariot between the two armies so that he could see the Pandavas' army. Arjuna felt great compassion to see his friends and relatives on the opposite side, whom he must kill to win the war. He became confused, spoke of the evils of war, and refused to fight. Here is a story about negative and positive thoughts fighting each other that Lord Krishna himself told to Arjuna in Mahabharata. Mr. Truthful. There once lived a great hermit who was famous for telling the truth. He had taken a vow not to lie and was popularly known as Mr. Truthful. No matter what he said, everyone believed him because he had earned a great reputation in the community where he lived and did his spiritual practices. One evening, a robber was chasing a merchant to rob and kill him. The merchant was running for his life to escape from the robber. The merchant ran towards the forest where the hermit lived outside the village. The merchant felt very safe because there was no way the robber could find out where he was hiding in the jungle. But the hermit had seen the direction in which the merchant went. The robber came to the hermit's cottage and paid his respects. The robber knew that the hermit would tell only the truth and could be trusted. So he asked him whether he had seen somebody running away. The hermit knew that the robber must be looking for somebody to rob and kill. So he faced a big problem. If he told the truth, the merchant would certainly be killed. If he lied, he would incur the sin of lying and lose his reputation. Any immoral act that may harm others is called sin. Ahimsa, non-violence, and truthfulness are two most important teachings of all religions that we must follow. If we have to choose between these two, which one should we choose? This is a very difficult choice. Because of his habit of telling the truth, the hermit said, "Yes, I saw someone going that way. So the robber was able to find the merchant and kill him. The hermit could have saved a life by hiding the truth, but he did not think very carefully and made a wrong decision. Lord Krishna's purpose in telling Arjuna this story was to teach Arjuna that sometimes we have to choose between a rock and a hard place. Lord Krishna told Arjuna that the hermit shared with the robber the sin of killing a life. The robber could not have found the merchant if the hermit had not told the truth. So, when two noble principles conflict with each other, we have to know which one is the higher principle. Ahimsa has the highest priority. So, the hermit should have lied in this situation to save a life. One may not tell a truth that harms a person in any way. It is not easy to apply dharma or righteousness to real life situations because what is dharma and what is adharma or unrighteousness can sometimes be very difficult to decide. In such a situation, expert advice should be sought. Lord Krishna gave another example of a robber coming to a village to rob and kill the villagers. In this situation, killing the robber would be an act of non-violence because killing one person may save many lives. Lord Krishna himself, on several occasions, had to make such decisions to win the war of Mahabharata and put an end to all the evil doers. Remember, do not tell a lie and do not kill any living being or hurt anybody, but saving a life comes first. Om Iti Srimad-Bhagavad-Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama Pratamodhyayaha. गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता द्वितीयोऽध्यायः सांख्ययोगा। श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता चैप्टर 2 योगा ऑफ नॉलेज। संजय उवाच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणम् विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः। Sanjaya said to him who was thus overcome with pity and whose eyes were full of tears and bore a bewildered look, Sri Krishna spoke as follows. Sri Bhagavanuvacha Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam Anarya Jushtamasvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. The blessed Lord said, O Arjuna, whence has this loathsome stupidity come upon you in this crisis? It, that is, this attitude, is unworthy of a noble personage. It is a bar to heaven and a cause of much disrepute. Klaibhyam asma gamaha partanaitatvayupapadyate kshudram hrudaya dhaurbhalyam chaktotishta parastapa. O Partha, yield not to unmanliness, it befits thee not. Abandoning this base faint-heartedness, rise up, O dreaded hero. Arjuna uvacha katam bhishmamaham sanke dronam cha madhusudana ishubhihi pratiyotsyami pujaha varisudana. Arjuna said, O Krishna, how can I attack Bhishma and Drona in battle with my arrows? They are indeed worthy of worship, O destroyer of foes. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhuktum vaikshva mapiha loke atvarta kamanstu guru nihaiva bhungniya bhogan rudira pratigdan. It is indeed better to live here in this world on a beggar's fare than to prosper by killing these venerable teachers. The enjoyment of pleasure and power obtained through the slaughter of these teachers and elders will surely be blood-stained. न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरियो यद्वा जयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः ते वस्तिता प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्रा. We do not know which of the two, that is alternatives, will be the better, the one that we should conquer them or the other that they should conquer us. The men on the side of Dhritarashtra standing arrayed against us are the very people after killing whom we should not care to live. Karpanya doshopahata swabhavaha pruchhami tvam dharma sammudacheta यच्छ्रेयः स्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रसन्नम्. My natural disposition is vitiated by a sense of pity, and my mind is in utter confusion regarding my duty. Lord, I beg thee, tell me with certainty what will lead to my good. I am the disciple. Instruct me, who have taken refuge in thee. Na hi prapashyami mamapanudyat yacchokamujjoshanamindriyanam avapya bhumavasapatnamruddham rajyam suranamapi chadipatyam. I do not find anything that can assuage this grief which numbs my senses. Neither the unchallenged lordship over a prosperous kingdom, nor even the overlordship of all the devas can do so. Sanjaya uvacha eva muktva hushikesham gudakesha parantapaha nayotsa iti govinda muktva tushnim bhabuvaha. Sanjaya said, addressing Sri Krishna, the master of the senses, Arjuna, though valorous and vigilant, said, I will not fight, and sat silent. Tamuvacha Hrushikeshah prahasanniva bharata senayorubhayor madhye vishidantamidam vachaha. O king, to him who was thus sitting, grief-striken between the two armies, that is, instead of fighting, Sri Krishna said as if by way of ridicule, Sri Bhagavanuvacha Ashochananvashocastvam pragnavadamsha bhashase gatasuna gatasumsha nanushocanti pandita. The blessed Lord said, you are mourning for those who should not be mourned for, yet you speak like a wise man. The truly wise never weep either for the dead or for the living. Na tvevaham jatu nasam na tattvam neme janadipa na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamatah param. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor these rulers of men, nor shall all of us cease to be hereafter. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptirdirastastra namahyati. Even as the attainment of childhood, youth and old age is to one in this physical life, so is the change to another body at death. For the embodied soul, wise men are not deluded by this. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukadukkhada agamapayino nityastam stitiksha svabharata. Contact of the senses with their objects generates cold and heat, pleasure and pain. They come and go, being impermanent. Bear with them patiently, ocean of the Bharata race. Yam hina vyatahyantete purusham purusharshaba samadukka sukam dhiram somrutatvaya kalpate. O leader of men, that enlightened one who is unperturbed alike in pleasure and pain, whom these do not distress, he indeed is worthy of immortality. नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृश्योस्तत्त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः. The unreal can never come into existence, and the real can never cease to be. The wise philosophers have known the truth about these categories, that is, of the real and the unreal. अविनाशितु तद्वद्येन सर्वमिदं तदं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति. Know that reality by which everything is pervaded to be indestructible. No one can cause the destruction of this immutable being. अंतवन्त इमे देहा नित्यस्योक्ताः शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत. What is said to perish are these bodies in which the imperishable and unlimited spirit is embodied. Therefore fight, ocean of the Bharata race. य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतो नायं हन्ति न हन्यते. He who thinks him, that is the self, to be the killer, and who experiences him, that is the self, as the killed, both of them know not. He, that is the self, neither kills nor is killed. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. He, that is this self, has neither birth nor death, nor does he cease to be, having been in existence before, unborn, eternal, permanent and primeval. He is never killed when the body is killed. Veda vinashinam nityam yayena majamavyayam katam sa purushah spartakam ghatayati hantikam. O Arjuna, know this self to be eternal, undecaying, birthless and indestructible. A person who knows him to be so, whom can he slay or cause another to slay? Vasamsi jeernani yada vihaya navani gruhnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jeerna anyanyani samyati navani dehi. Just as a man gives up old garments and puts on new ones, so the embodied self abandons decrepit bodies and assumes new ones. Nainam chintanti shastrani nainam dahati pavaka na chainam kledayanyapo na shoshayati marutaha. Him the weapons cleave not, him the fire burns not, him the waters wet not, him the wind dries not. अच्छेद्यो यमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थानो अचलोऽयं सनातनः. He cannot be cut or burnt. He can neither be wetted nor dried. Eternal, all-pervading, immovable and motionless, he is the same forever. अव्यक्त्योऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्मादेवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि. Knowing him, that is the self, to be unmanifest, inconceivable and unmodifiable, it is improper to mourn for him. अत चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतम् तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि. In the alternative, even if you hold him, that is the self, to be subject to constant births and deaths, there is no justification, O mighty armed, for your mourning for him. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्यु ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थेन त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. For the born, death is unavoidable, and for the dead, birth is sure to take place. Therefore, in a situation that is inevitable, there is no justification for you to grieve. अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्त्य निदानान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना. Mystery surrounds the origin of beings. Mysterious too is their end. Only in the interim between birth and death are they manifested clearly. Such being the case, what is there to grieve about? आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद्वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कच्चित्. Some have a glimpse of him as a marvel, some speak of him as a marvel, and yet others hear of him as a marvel, yet none understands him in truth, in spite of, that is, seeing, speaking and hearing about him. देहि नित्यमवद्योऽयं देहे सर्वस्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. At no time can the spirit embodied in all beings be slain. Therefore, there is no reason for you to grieve for anyone. स्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्मितुमर्हसि धर्माद्युद्धात् श्रेयोऽन्यत् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते. Further, even from the point of view of one's own duty, you ought not to falter. There is no greater good for a kshatriya than what a righteous war offers. यदृच्छया चोपपन्नं स्वर्गद्वारमापावृतम् सुखिनः क्षत्रिया पात लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम्. O Arjuna, that kshatriya must indeed be a happy man to whom comes unsought a war like this, which is an open gate to heaven. अतचेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि. If you do not take part in this righteous war, you will incur sin, besides failing in your duty and forfeiting your reputation. अकीर्तिघ्नापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययां सम्भावितस्य च कीर्तिः मरणादतिरिच्यते. Besides, everyone will speak ill of you for all time. More poignant than death is a disrepute to a man accustomed to be honored by all. भयाद्रणादुपरतं मंसन्ते त्वां महारथा येषां च त्वं बहुमुखोद्भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम्. The great car warriors will consider you as having fled from battle out of fear, and you who have been the object of their respect will be despised by them hereafter. अवाच्य वादांश बहून्वदिष्यन्ति तावाहिता निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं सुखिम्. Your enemies will indulge in derogatory speeches against you, belittling your prowess. What is more painful than that? हतो व प्राप्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वद्भोक्ष्यसि महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चया. O son of Kunti, if killed in battle, you will attain heaven. If victorious, you will enjoy the kingdom. Therefore arise, resolved to fight. सुख दुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जया जयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि. Treating alike pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat, be ready for battle, thus you will not incur any sin. एषा ते विहिता सांख्ये बुद्धिर्योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्ध्या युक्तो यया पाता कर्मबन्धं प्रहास्यसि. O Arjuna, what has been declared to you is the truth according to the Samkhya, the path of knowledge. Listen, Now to the teaching of yoga, that is the path of selfless action combined with devotion, by practicing which the bondage of karma is overcome. नेहा विक्रमानाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. In this path of yoga, the path of selfless action combined with devotion, no effort is lost due to incompleteness and no contrary effect of an adverse nature is produced due to failures. Even a little observance of this discipline saves one from great fear. व्यवसायात्मिक बुद्धिरेकेह कुरुनन्दना बहुशाखाह्याश्चान्त बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम्. O Arjuna, in those following this path, the buddhi, that is the understanding that has the nature of producing conviction, is directed towards a single objective. In those without any spiritual conviction, the understanding gets scattered and pursues countless ends. यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्य विपच्छितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानां स्वर्गपराः जन्मकर्मफलप्रदां क्रियाविशेषबहुलां भोगैश्वर्यगतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्यप्रसक्तानां तया बहुप्रतचेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते. O Arjuna, there are people who delight in the eulogist statements of the Vedas and argue that the purport of the Vedas consists in these and nothing else. They are full of worldly desires. Paradise is their highest goal, and they are totally blind in a spiritual sense. They expatiate upon those florid Vedic texts which describe the means for the attainment of pleasure and power, which provide attractive embodiments as the fruits of actions, and which are full of descriptions of rites and rituals, that is, through which these fulfillments are obtained. In the minds of these votaries of pleasure and power, addicted to enjoyments of the above description, steadfast wisdom that is capable of revealing the truth is never generated. त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदा निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुना निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थो निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्. O Arjuna, the Vedas deal with material ends, but you be established in the spirit, in the immutable purity of it, having abandoned all material values, attachment to possessions, and concern with the contraries of life like pleasure and pain, heat and cold. यावानर्ध उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुप्तोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः. What use a pond has got when a whole country is flooded? That much of use only the Veda has got to a Brahmana who is full of wisdom. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूर्मा ते सग्नोस्त्वकर्मणि. To work alone you have competence, and not to claim their fruits. Let not the longing for fruits be the motive force of your action. At the same time, let not this attitude confirm you in indolent inaction. योगस्थः कुरु कुर्माणि सघ्नः त्वा धनञ्जया सिद्ध्य सिद्ध्यो नमो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते. Engage yourself in action with the mind steadfast in yoga. Abandon attachments, O Arjuna, and be unperturbed in success and failure. This unperturbed sameness in all conditions is yoga. दूरेण शवरं कर्म बुद्धि योगा धनञ्जया बुद्धौ शरणमन्विच्य कृपणा फलहेतवः. O Arjuna, Mere action with attachment is far inferior to action done with the mind poised in evenness. Seek shelter in this state of unperturbed evenness, that is, which can arise only in a desireless mind in communion with the divine. Those who work for selfish gains are indeed pitiable. बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद् योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम्. One endowed with this unperturbed evenness of mind abandons the effects of both good and bad actions, even here itself. Therefore, strive for this state of yoga. Yoga is skill in action. कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ता पदं गच्छन्त्यनामयम्. Wise men, established thus in the unperturbed evenness of mind, abandon the fruits of action, free themselves from entanglement in the cycle of births and deaths, and attain to the state of freedom from all sorrow, that is liberation. यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च. When you have overcome the delusions of your understanding sprung from self-centered attachment, then you attain to a state of indifference towards all the past experiences and the others yet to be had. श्रुति विप्रतिपन्ना ते यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिस्तदा योगमवाप्यसि. When your intellect, fed up with the bewildered scriptural doctrines and their interpretations, settles, that is finally, in steady and unwavering introspection, then you will attain to real yoga. Arjuna uvacha स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशवा स्थितधीः किं प्रभाषेत किमासीत व्रजेत किम्. Arjuna said, O Keshava, what are the signs of a person who has attained to steady wisdom and deep introspection? How does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? That is, how does he behave in life generally? श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान्नात्मनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्णः स्थितः प्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते. The blessed Lord said, O son of Partha, when all the desires of the heart have been abandoned and the spirit finds joyous satisfaction in itself, that is without dependence on any external factor, then is one spoken of as a person of steady wisdom. दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते. Whose mind is not agitated in adversity, who is free from desire, and who is devoid of attachments, fear, and anger, such a person is called a sage of steady wisdom. यः सर्वत्रानभिस्नेह तत्तत्प्राश्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Whoever is without self-centered affection for anything, who rejoices not in favorable situations and hates not in unfavorable ones, such a person's wisdom is firmly set. यदा संहारते चायं कूर्मो ज्ञानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. When a person can withdraw his senses from their objects, just like the tortoise its limbs on all sides, his wisdom is firmly set. विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्ज्यं रसोष्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. From the abstinent soul sense, objects fall away, but not the taste for them. When the supreme truth is realized, even the taste departs. यततो ह्यापि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपच्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमातीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः. O son of Kunti, the turbulent senses do not violently draw away the mind of even a discerning person who is earnestly striving on the spiritual path. तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त असीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्य इन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Having controlled them all, one should become entirely devoted to me. He whose senses are under control, his wisdom is firmly set. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सग्नस्तेषु पाजायते सग्नात् ज्ञायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते. In one who dwells longingly on sense objects, an inclination towards them is generated. This inclination develops into desire, and desire begets anger. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. Anger generates delusion, and delusion results in loss of memory. Loss of memory brings about the destruction of discriminative intelligence, and loss of discriminative intelligence spells ruin to a man. रागद्वेष वियुक्तस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियश्चरन् आत्मवैश्यर्विद्येयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति. A man of disciplined mind who has his senses under control and who has neither attraction nor aversion for sense objects attains tranquility, though he may be moving amidst objects of the senses. प्रसादे सर्वदुःखानां हानिरस्योपजायते प्रसन्नचेतसो ह्याशु बुद्धिः पर्यवतिष्ठते. On attaining tranquility, all one's sorrows come to an end, for soon does the intellect of a tranquil person become steady. नास्ति बुद्धिरयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावायतः शान्तिरशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम्. A man of uncontrolled senses has no spiritual comprehension. He has no capacity for meditation either. For the unmeditative there is no peace, and where is happiness for he, for one without peace of mind? इन्द्रियाणां हि चरतां यन्मनो नु विधीयते तदस्य हरति प्रज्ञां वायुर्नावामिमांसि. The senses are naturally disposed to move towards their objects. Whichever of these senses the mind pursues, that sense carries away that mind as a gale does a ship on the high seas. तस्माद् यस्य महाबाहो निगृहीतानि सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. Therefore, O mighty Arjuna, he who can completely restrain his senses from pursuing their objects has his wisdom firmly set. या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जागृति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुने. What is like night to all ignorant beings, to that Atman consciousness the self-controlled sage is awake, and the sensate life to which all ignorant beings are awake, that is like night to this illumined sage. अपूर्यमानमचलप्रतिष्ठं समुद्रमापः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत्कामयां प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिमाप्नोति न कामकामी. He into whom objects of desire enter, that is unsought and causing no perturbation, even like the ocean that is ever being filled by the rivers but still remains steady, within its bounds. Such a person attains to peace, not he who runs madly after objects of desire. विहाय कामान्यः सर्वान् पुमाचरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निराङ्कारः स शान्तिमधिगच्छति. Whoever has abandoned desires and moves about without attachments and the sense of I and mine, he attains to peace. एषा ब्राह्मी स्थितिः पार्था नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति स्थित्वा स्यमन्तकालेऽपि ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमृच्छति. This, O son of Partha, is the state of dwelling in Brahman. Having attained it, one is no more deluded by abiding in that state. Even by the time of death, one is united with Brahman. Om. Iti Srimad-Bhagavad-Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishnarjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyodhyayah. Om. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 2, Yoga of Knowledge. Summary. Lord Krishna taught us through Arjuna the difference between Atma and body. We are Atma with a body. Atma is unborn and indestructible. One and the same Atma dwells inside all bodies, human or non-human. Thus, we are all connected with each other. We should do our duty to the best of our ability without worrying about success or failure. We must learn from our failures and go forward without letting our failures defeat us. To become a perfect person, we need to control or limit our desires. O Lord, how can we keep from getting angry? We get angry if our desire is not fulfilled. So, the best way to control anger is to control or limit our desires. We should not want too many things. Desires begin in the mind, so we should control our mind. If we don't control our mind, we drift like a ship without its rudder. The desire for pleasure takes one to the dark alley of sin, gets us in trouble, and prevents our progress. Arjuna was a very good example of such concentration. Here is a story about him. The graduation test. Guru Drona was the military teacher for both the Kauravas and the Pandavas. At the end of their military training came final examination time. Drona put a wooden eagle on the branch of a nearby tree. Nobody knew it was just a doll. It looked like a real eagle. To pass the graduation test, every one of the students was supposed to cut off the eagle's head with one arrow. Guru Drona first asked Yudhishthira, the eldest of the Pandavas, "Get ready, look at the eagle and tell me what you are seeing." Yudhishthira replied, "I see the sky, the clouds, the tree trunk, the branches, the leaves, and the eagle sitting there." Guru Drona was not very pleased with this answer. He asked the same of all the students. One by one, every one of them gave a similar answer. Then came Arjuna's turn for the test. Drona asked Arjuna, "Get ready, look at the eagle and tell me what you are seeing." Arjuna replied, "I only see the eagle and nothing else." Drona then asked a second question. "If you are seeing the eagle, then tell me how strong is its body and what is the color of its wings." Arjuna replied, "I am only seeing its head and not the entire body." Guru Drona was much pleased with Arjuna's answer and asked him to go ahead with the test. Arjuna easily cut off the head of the eagle with one arrow because he was concentrating on his aim with a single mind. He passed the test with flying colors. Arjuna was not only the greatest warrior of his time, but also a compassionate karma yogi. Lord Krishna chose Arjuna as a medium to impart the knowledge of the holy Gita. We all should follow the example of Arjuna. Be like Arjuna. Arjuna Bano. Arjuna Bano. Whatever work you do it with single minded attention and put your whole heart and mind into it. This is the main theme of Karma Yoga of the Gita and the secret of success in anything you do. A word for the youth from Swami Vivekananda. Whatever you are doing, put your whole mind on it. If you are shooting, your mind should be only on the target. Then you will never miss. If you are learning your lessons, think only of the lesson. In India, boys and girls are taught to do this. Om. Om. श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अतः तृतीयोऽध्यायः कर्मयोगा. Chapter 3 Yoga of Action. अर्जुन उवाच जायसी चेत् कर्मणस्ते मता बुद्धिर्जनार्दन तत्किं कर्मणि घोरे मां नियोजसि केशवा. Arjuna said, O Janardana, if according to thee discriminative insight is superior to action, why dost thou enjoy on me this terrible action, that is of engagement in war? व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयसीव मे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहमाप्नुयाम्. By seemingly conflicting words, thou art confusing my understanding. Speak to me only about that which will definitely lead to my highest good. Sri Bhagavanuvacha लोकेऽस्मिन् द्विविधा निष्ठा पुरा प्रोक्ता मया नघा ज्ञानयोगेन सांख्यानां कर्मयोगेन योगिनाम्. The blessed Lord said, in times of yore, a twofold spiritual path was taught by me. O sinless one, that of knowledge for Samkhyas, that is, who are pure contemplatives, and that of action for yogis, that is, who combine detached work with devotion. Na karmana manaramba naishkarmyam purushošnute na chana sanyasana deva siddhim samati gacchati. By non-performance of action, a man does not gain the state of spiritual passivity, that is, or the state of egoless actionlessness, called naishkarmya. By more external abandonment, that is samyasas, he does not attain to perfection. Na hi kashit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karma krutu karyate havashah karma sarvah prakruti jairgunaihi. No man can ever remain ever for a moment without performing any action. The impulses of nature deprive him of freedom in this respect and compel him to act. Karmendriyani samyamya ya aste manasa smaran indriyartan vimoodatma mityacharah sa uchyate. He who remains the organs of action but continues to brood in his mind over the objects of sensual desire, that is enjoyed through them, such a deluded person is called a hypocrite. Yasvindriyani manasa niyamyarabhate Arjuna karmendriyaihi karma yogamasaktaha sa vishishyate. But he who, controlling all sense organs by the power of his will and becoming non-attached, lives a life of communion through dedicated action, such a person excels. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jayo hyakarmanaha शरीरयात्रापि च तेन प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः. Perform your prescribed duties, for action is superior to inaction. If you are totally inactive, even the survival of the body would become impossible. यज्ञार्थात् कर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः. तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसंज्ञसमाचरा. O son of Kunti, in this world all actions, unless they are done as an offering to God, that is, or as yajna, become causes of bondage. Therefore, work for the sake of God without personal attachments. सह यज्ञाः प्रजाः सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वमेषवोऽस्ति इष्टकामदृक्. In the beginning, Prajapati, having created men together with yajna, that is selfless work dedicated to God, or Vedic sacrifice, as their duty, declared, by this shall you multiply. May this be to you the cow of plenty, yielding all your wants. Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantu vaha. परस्परं भावयन्तः श्रेयः परम अवाप्ययता. You cherish the devas with yagnam, and may the devas in turn bless you, that is, with rain and other desired gifts. Thus, mutually cherishing, you shall attain the highest good. Ishtan bhogan hi vo deva dasante yagna bhavitaha. तैर्दत्तान प्रदायभ्यो यो भुक्नेस्तेन एव सहा. Worshipped by sacrifices, the devas will give you the desired objects of enjoyment. They are verily thieves who enjoy their gifts without giving their share in return. Yagnashishta sinah santo mucchante sarvakilbishai. भुग्निते ते त्वगं पापाये पचत्न्यात्मकारणात्. Those persons who eat what is left after sacrifice are released from all sin. But those who cook food for the self alone, that is, without sharing it with others, such degraded men eat sin. Annadbhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhavaha. यज्ञात् भवति पर्जन्योः यज्ञः कर्म समुद्भवः. From food, that is, from reproductive power sustained by food, creatures are born. Food is produced by rain. Rain is born of sacrifice, and sacrifice originates from action. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam. तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम्. Works of sacrifice have their authority in the Veda. Veda has been revealed by the Supreme Being. Therefore, the all-comprehending Veda is established in sacrifice, that is, as performance of sacrifice as its fundamental teaching. एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं नानुवर्तयति ह्ययः. अघायुरिन्द्रियारामो मोगं पार्थ सहजीवति. Vain is the life of that sinful and sense-indulged person who fails to fulfill his obligations in this cycle of mutual interdependence and service, that is, which the law of sacrifice implies. यस्ता आत्मरतिरेव स्यादात्मतृप्तच्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टस्तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. But whoever delights in the self, that is spirit alone, and is content and satisfied in the self, for such a person there is no obligatory duty to discharge. नैव तस्य कृते नातो नाकृते नेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कच्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः. He has no object to gain here in this world by action, nor does he lose anything by abstaining from action. For him, there is no dependence on any created being for any object of his. तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचरा असक्तो ह्यचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः. Therefore, perform action always without attachment, for by working without attachment, a man attains the supreme. कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिमास्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. Men like Janaka verify attained to perfection by work alone. You ought to work for the good of the world, that is, having their example in view. यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठस्तद्देव तरो जनः स यत्प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते. Whatever the noblest persons do, the ordinary man imitates. The standard they set, the ordinary men follow. न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि. In all the three worlds there is nothing, O son of Partha, that is binding on me as duty. Neither is there anything that I have to gain, nor anything that I cannot gain. Still I am always engaged in work. यदि हि अहं न वर्तेयं जातु कर्मण्यत इन्द्रितः मम वर्ता मनुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः. O son of Partha, if I did not ever continue in action unwearied, men all around would have followed my way. उत्सीदेयुरिमे लोकान् कुर्यां कर्म चेदहम् संकरस्य च कर्ता स्यामुपः अन्यामिमाः प्रजा. If I were not to work, all these worlds would have perished. I would have been the cause of confusion among men of their ultimate destruction. सक्ताः कर्मण्य विद्वांसो यदा कुर्वन्ति भारत कुर्याद् विद्वांस्तथा सक्तः चिकुर्षुक्लोकसंग्रहम्. Ocean of the Bharata race, just as ignorant men do action out of attachment, so let enlightened ones perform the same unattached, with the good of the world in view. Na buddhibedam janayet ajnanam karmasangninam yojayet sarva karmani vidwan yukta samacharan. An enlightened man should not cause confusion in the minds of ignorant people, that is, by his conduct. Himself working with equanimity, he should make them interested in all activities. प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते. Everywhere the dispositions, that is powers of nature, perform all works, but deluded by egoism, man thinks, I am the doer. तत्त्ववित्तु महाभावो गुणकर्म विभागयो गुणा गुणेषु वर्तन्त इति मत्वा न सज्जते. But those who know the truth, that the dispositions of nature and the actions which spring from them are distinct from the self, do not get attached, understanding that it is not the self, but the dispositions of nature as organs that settle on the respective objects, which too are products of the same dispositions. प्रकृतेर्गुणसम्मूढाः सज्जन्ते गुणकर्मसु तान् कृत्सन्न विदो मन्दान् कृत्सन्न भिन्न विचालयेत्. Men deluded by the dispositions of nature get attached to work prompted by these dispositions, Those who know the whole truth should not unsettle these dull witted men of imperfect understanding. मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरा. Offering all your actions to me, your mind in unison with the spirit and free from desires and egotism, you fight without the slightest touch of hatred or excitement. ఏమే మతమిదం నిత్యమనుతిష్టంతి మానవా శ్రద్ధావంతో నసూయంతో ముచ్యంతే తెపి కర్మభిః. Whoever follow this teaching of mine with their minds full of faith and free from disparagement, they also are released from the bondage of karma. ये त्वे ततदभ्यसूयन्तो नानुतिष्ठन्ति मे मतम् सर्वज्ञानविमूढांस्तान् विद्धि नष्टान चेतसा. But those who disparage this doctrine of mine and discard it, no, such senseless men, blind to all wisdom, as lost. Sadrusham chestate swasya prakrutirjnanavanapi prakrutim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Even a wise man acts in accordance with his nature. All beings follow their nature. What can repression do? इंद्रियस्येन्द्रियस्यार्थे रागद्वेषौ व्यवस्थितौ तयोर्न वशमागच्छेत्तौ ह्यस्य परिपन्थिनौ. It is natural for each organ to feel attraction or aversion in respect of objects pertaining to each sense. Do not come under their sway, for they are enemies, that is, of all spiritual aspirants. Sreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmatvamutitan swadharme nidanam sreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. One's own dharma, that is duty, even though not glamorous, is better than duty alien to one's growth, that is paradharmaha. However, well performed, for even death in doing one's duty leads to one's good, while a duty alien to one's growth is burdened with the fear of downfall. Arjuna uvacha atakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha अनिच्छन्नपि वार्ष्णेय बलादिव नियोजितः. Arjuna said, what is that ocean of the Rushni race, prompted by which a man is forced, as it were, to live a sinful life even against his will? Sri Bhagavanuvāca kāma esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavah महाशनो महापापात्मा विज्ञेयनमिह वैरिणम्. The blessed Lord said, it is lust, it is anger, born of Rajoguna, insatiable and prompting man to great sin. Know this to be the enemy in man's spiritual life. धूमेना व्रियते वह्निर्यथा दर्शो मलेन च यदोल्बेनावृतो गर्भस्तथा तेनेदमावृतम्. As fire is enveloped by smoke, mirror by dust, and the embryo by the placenta, so is knowledge overcast by lust. आवृतं ज्ञानमेतेन ज्ञानिनो नित्यवैरिणा कामरूपेण कौन्तेय दुष्पूरनेनालेन च. Knowledge, O son of Kunti, is covered up by this eternal foe of the aspirant after knowledge, the insatiable fire of lust. Indriyani mano buddhirasyaadhisthanamuchyate etairvimohayatyeshaha jnanamavritya dehinam. The senses, the mind and the buddhi are said to be its seat. With these it wields knowledge and deludes the embodied spirit. तस्मात् त्वमिन्द्रियाण्यादौ नियम्य भरतर्षभा पापामनं प्रजहिह्येनं ज्ञानविज्ञाननाशनम्. Therefore, ocean of the Bharata race, controlling the senses at the beginning itself, slay this foul enemy, the destroyer of all knowledge and realization. Indriyani paranya hurindriyebhyah param manaha manasastu para buddhiryo buddhehe paratastu saha. The senses are great, they say. Superior to the senses is the mind, and superior even to the mind is the intellect. What is superior even to the intellect is He, the Atma. Evam buddhehe param buddhva samstabhyatmanāmatmana jahi shatrum mahabhavo kamarupam durasadam. Thus, knowledge Him who is superior even to the buddhi and controlling the lower self with the higher, kill that tough enemy in the form of lust. O mighty armed Arjuna. Om. Iti Srimad-Bhagavad-Gītāsu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna-Arjuna Samvade Karma Yogo Nama Tritiyodhyayaha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 3, Yoga of Action, that is Karma Yoga, Path of Duty. The summary of Karma Yoga. Lord Krishna mentioned two major paths to peace and happiness in life. The path chosen depends on the individual. It is easy for most people to follow the path of Karma Yoga, the path of selfless service. To help each other is the first teaching of the Creator. This keeps society going and progressing. We should all do our duty to the best of our ability. Choose the career best suited to your nature. No job is small. It's not what you do, but how you do it that is important. Finally, Lord Krishna tells us we must control our desire for pleasures. Uncontrolled desires for pleasure lead us to failure and suffering in life. We must think about the results of an action before taking it up. Avoid bad company at all costs. Here is a true modern story of how selfless service, discussed in Chapter 3, works wonders in life. Sir Alexander Fleming, a poor Scottish farmer, one day, while trying to make a living for his family, heard a cry for help coming from a nearby swamp. He dropped his tools and ran to the bog. There, sunk to his waist in the swamp, was a terrified boy, screaming and struggling to free himself. Farmer Fleming saved the lad from what could have been a slow and terrifying death. The next day, a fancy carriage pulled up to the Scotsman's simple home. A well-dressed nobleman stepped out and introduced himself as the father of the boy that Farmer Fleming had saved. "I want to thank and repay you," said the nobleman. "You saved my son's life." "I can't accept payment for what I did," the Scottish farmer replied, rejecting the offer. At that moment, the farmer's own son came to the door of the family hovel. "Is that your son?" the nobleman asked. "Yes," the farmer replied proudly. "I will make you a deal. Let me provide him with the level of education my own son will enjoy. If the lad is anything like his father, he will no doubt grow to be a man we both will be proud of." And that he did. Farmer Fleming's son attended the very best schools and in time graduated from St. Mary's Hospital Medical School in London and went on to become known throughout the world as the noted Sir Alexander Fleming, the discoverer of penicillin. Years afterward, the same nobleman's son who was saved from the swamp was stricken with pneumonia. What saved his life this time? Penicillin. The name of the nobleman, Lord Randolph Churchill. His son's name, the famous Sir Winston Churchill. Someone once said, "What goes around comes around." This is the universal law of karma, the law of cause and effect. Help fulfill someone's dream, and your dream shall be fulfilled too by the Lord. इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः समाप्तः।